because even though I am reteaching it, I'm going to go through it a little quicker because you did have over an hour just to watch this video. Okay, let's do number 6 now. So, if g of x is equal to that expression there, find g of 2 and g of 0. Now, it being g of x instead of f of x means absolutely nothing. It means the exact same thing. It's just the function's name is g instead of f. F is just used the most commonly because it's called a function, but when we have more than one function, we wouldn't call it f1 of x. We would just use a different letter instead. So, same thing. Take a minute, pause the video, plug in the numbers, and then I'll wait for my solution and then compare with the answer that I give. Okay, now, now that you've had a chance to solve this, let's do the same. So g of 2, I'm going to go through the first two a little bit faster because they're really nice numbers to work with. So g of 2 is just going to be equal to 2 times our x, which is now 2, plus 3, over 2 minus 4. And now just simplifying, 2 times 2 is 4, so I've got 4 plus 3 over negative 2, and that's just going to be 7 over minus 2, but even though it's not mathematically wrong to leave a minus 2 in the denominator, it's improper form. People will think you're a little weird, so your choice, you can either move the minus in front of the fraction and just have 7 over 2, or you can have nothing in front of the fraction and then the minus in the numerator, but it's a little strange to have it in the denominator, so just avoid that if you can. Okay, so that's our answer there. Then g of 0 is equal to, well, 2 times 0, which we know is 0, but I'm still going to write it there, and then 0 minus 4. So I end up with 2 times 0, which is 0, plus 3, which is just going to be 3, and then minus 4, and then just like I said before, don't leave that minus sign in the denominator. I like putting it in front of the fraction, which is what you'll see most commonly, but sometimes you'll see it in the numerator as well. So minus 3 over 4. And now finally, I'll go through this one a tiny bit slower because the number, I think, is going to get a little uglier because we have a fraction. I'm just doing a bubble around it. G of minus 1 over 2. Now, if you like working with decimals, you can just change this to minus 0.5, and the math actually gets a little prettier. But what I'm going to do is work with fractions. So you end up with 2 times minus 1 over 2 plus 3 over minus 1 over 2 minus 4. Okay, now what do I do? In the numerator, I actually get really lucky, right? Because I technically have 2 times negative 1, but then divided by 2. So when I solve this, this and this will cancel out. So in my numerator, I'm just going to end up with minus 1 plus 3. And in my denominator, I'm going to end up with, if you like working with decimals, you can just change this to a minus 0.5, and there will be minus 4.5. But you can't leave a decimal in the denominator. So what I'm going to do instead is change this down here to, it's going to be minus 1 over 2 minus 8 over 2, right? I'm multiplying this because a different way to write 4 is just 4 over 1, and I'm just changing it so they have the same denominator. So here, hopefully I don't run out of room. Minus 1 plus 3 is just going to be 2, divided by minus 9 over 2, which will give us 2 divided by minus 9 over 2, and hopefully you remember from grade 9 and a little bit from grade 10, when I'm dividing by a fraction, in order to get rid of this division sign, I need to take the reciprocal of that fraction, which just means I flip the numerator and denominator, so it's equal to 2 times negative 2 over 9 instead of 9 over 2. And then we'll get an answer of minus 4 over 9. Okay. So again, pause the video, double check your work, double check my work as well, maybe, because I can make mistakes too. And then, when you're ready, move on to the next question. Okay. So, I'm going to skip D, just because it's, again, very, very similar, and there's no reason for me to do it too much. I want to cover this one. So, again, it's the reverse. What's my x value if my g of x is equal to minus 3? So here, I'm plugging in minus 3 is equal to 2x plus 3, x minus 4. So I need to find out what my x value is going to be. Now, remember, when you have minus 3, or any number really, you can always write it as that number divided by 1. And now I can cross multiply, right? 1 times this numerator over here, 2x plus 3, is going to be equal to minus 3 times x minus 4. So let's do that. My next line over here is going to be 1 times 2x is 2x, and 1 times 3 is just going to be plus 3, is equal to minus 3 times x gives me minus 3x, and minus 3 times minus 4 will give me positive 12. And now I've just got an equation with only one variable, so I can solve. I'm going to move this over here because I want all my variables on the left, and this over here because I want all my constants or my numbers on the right. So I'm going to have 2x plus 3x is equal to, what do I have here, 12 minus 3. So I'm going to get 5x is equal to, what do I have here, 9. So x is equal to, oops, sorry, I just realized it went off screen. X is equal to 9 over 5. I'm just double checking to see if I made a calculation error here, because I was hoping this would be a plus 315 and then it would work out to be a nice number, but I don't think that's the case. So x will be 9 over 5 in order for g of x to be minus 3. Okay, so again, pause this question. Don't worry, we will do this